When a woman is physically attracted, she won't say it. But this gives her away. 90% of men miss. Psychology tips. Sometimes the heart reveals what the lips will never confess. Brother, have you noticed this? The moment you walk into the room, the atmosphere shifts. She laughs harder, her eyes light up, and even your dumbest joke suddenly feels like the funniest thing in the world to her. That's not your imagination. When a woman is attracted, her psychology betrays her. Through her eyes, her smile, her little gestures, even those accidental touches that last a second too long. And here's the truth. She could be anyone. A co-worker, your best friend, the girl next door, even someone already married. Attraction doesn't follow rules. It just happens. The problem is, 90% of men completely miss these signals. They keep asking themselves, is she just being nice, or is there something more? In this video, I'm going to reveal 8 hidden psychological signs that prove when a woman is physically attracted to you, things she will never admit out loud, but her body and her eyes can't hide. So think about it. In your life, who is she? Sign 1. Her laughter is too much. Brother, let me lay this out for you straight, because this is one of those little mysteries of attraction that 90% of men never catch. When a woman is physically drawn to a man, she won't spell it out. She won't tap you on the shoulder and confess her desire, but her body can't help leaking signals, and one of the loudest signs hides inside her laughter. Don't dismiss it. Don't confuse it with polite giggles or social manners. This isn't a customer service smile. This is something raw, alive, and magnetic. When a woman laughs around you with that extra sparkle, when she throws her head back and laughs at things that aren't even funny, that's attraction slipping out in real time. Maybe you said something mundane, this coffee tastes terrible, or wow, raining again, and suddenly she's lighting up like you just delivered a stand-up routine. Don't kid yourself, brother. That's not comedy. That's chemistry. Her laughter is the cover story, but underneath, it's her body betraying the storm you've triggered inside her. Be smart. Watch closely. That laugh is not just about your words, it's about your presence. Notice how she fidgets, how she tucks her hair, how she bites her lip like she's trying to rein herself in. Her eyes will gleam, her shoulders tremble slightly, and her laughter will escape even when she's trying to stay cool. That is desire in its purest, most unguarded form. Don't brush it off as friendliness, because here's the truth. When attraction is real, logic has no seat at the table. Her body reacts first, her brain tries to cover second. And you, if you're paying attention, must learn to see beyond the obvious. That is where real psychology tips live, understanding what's happening beneath the surface. Love advice that misses these cues is worthless. Dating tips that ignore body language? Even worse. But you, my friend, must not be blind to what's right in front of you. Think about the last time a woman laughed harder than the moment deserved. Did it catch you off guard? Did it make you wonder if there was something more? That's not coincidence. That's her subconscious tugging at the connection, her instincts firing off like sparks on dry wood. And most men? They miss it. They second guess, retreat, and chalk it up to friendliness. Don't do that. Don't fall into that trap. Be aware, be confident, and recognize the difference between politeness and magnetism. That laugh isn't about your joke, it's about you. Your presence, your energy, your pull. She's not laughing because you're the next great comedian. She's laughing because, deep down, you've already stirred something she can't control. And when you start seeing that clearly, you'll never confuse interest with indifference again. So here's the bottom line. Her laughter is not random. It's a breadcrumb, a little flare she shoots into the air without realizing it. Don't ignore it. Don't tell yourself it means nothing. You must learn to decode it, because once you do, you'll see attraction where other men only see noise. That is your edge. That is your clarity. And brother, when you carry this awareness into your love life, your conversations, your connections, you stop stumbling in the dark and start moving with certainty. That's the real psychology tips in action. That's the kind of love advice that separates the clueless from the confident. And that's dating tips with power behind them. Remember, laughter that feels too much, too alive, too electric is never just laughter. It's desire talking in a language you must learn to hear. Sign 2. She fixes herself around you. Brother, let me tell you something straight. When a woman is physically attracted, she won't announce it on a billboard. She won't hand you a neatly typed confession letter. No. Instead, her body speaks in whispers, movements so small that 90% of men miss them. But once you know the signs, you'll never unsee them. Picture this. You walk into a room. Nobody gasps, nobody claps, but the atmosphere changes. The air thickens like static before a storm. And then her. She shifts. Not dramatically, not in ways that draw a crowd, but in quiet gestures aimed only at you. The hair move. She touches her hair, but not the sloppy, half-asleep scratching we all do in the morning. This touch has rhythm, precision. Her fingers know exactly where to glide, exactly which strand to tuck behind her ear. Why? So that you notice. That one movement is a private signal, not grooming, not nerves, attraction. Don't fool yourself into thinking it's random. It isn't. Her subconscious is in control, her biology running the show. In the language of love psychology, this is her saying, I want you to see me. I want to look good for you. The lip tell. Then come the lips. Maybe she presses them together. Maybe she smooths them. Maybe she gives them a quick, nervous bite. Blink and you'll miss it. But if you catch it, it hits like a spark on dry wood. A flash of fire she can't suppress. That's not fidgeting. That's not boredom. That's her body betraying her secret, desire she hasn't put into words. Desire she probably doesn't even want you to notice. But it leaks through anyway. The clothes game. Now, watch her clothes. Suddenly, she adjusts her sleeve, straightens her collar, smooths fabric over her curves. Tiny movements, barely visible. Yet each one is deliberate. She's aligning herself, fine-tuning her appearance as if your very presence requires her to recalibrate. And here's the kicker. She isn't doing it for anyone else. Not her coworkers. Not her girlfriends. Not society. It's for you. Pure and simple. Don't call it vanity. Don't brush it off as fussing. It's not self-absorption. It's instinct. Straight biology. The body preparing itself for attraction. The subconscious screaming louder than words ever could. The hidden language. Every flick of her hair, every subtle glance at her lips, every straightened seam is an unfiltered primal signal. Her body is saying, I want him to notice me. I want to look good for him. I want him. Even in a noisy cafe, a bustling office, or a crowded classroom, everything else fades. The chatter disappears. The clinking of glasses and hum of voices dissolve. Her focus narrows to one singular point. You, that brother, is gravity shifting. That's the atmosphere bending around your presence. Why must men miss it? Here's the painful truth. Most men don't see it. They're too busy, too distracted, too blind to the signals written in neon letters across her gestures. They confuse it for random movements, nothing more. And because of that, they miss the very signs that could unlock the secret to how to attract women. Don't be that guy. Be sharper. Be present. Train your eye to notice what 90% ignore. The prelude to desire. These gestures are not the whole story. They're only the whispers, the sparks, the opening act of a much larger play. When her body shifts like this, it's the prelude to something deeper. The beginning of intimacy, the start of connection, the quiet foundation of what could grow into true relationship goals. Soon, the next sign comes, the one where she starts seeking proximity, finding excuses to be near you. That's when attraction becomes undeniable. That's when desire moves from invisible to palpable. The challenge for you. So, brother, here's your mission. Pay attention. Notice the shifts, the subtle glances, the micro movements that orbit around your presence. Don't dismiss them. Don't downplay them. Recognize them for what they are, her body's secret language. Because once you understand it, you'll see attraction differently. You'll see her differently. And most importantly, you'll see yourself as the kind of man who doesn't miss the signs. That is your edge. That is your advantage. And that, brother, is how you begin to master the art of connection. Sign 3. She stays longer than needed. Brother, listen closely, because this is where most men fail, and it costs them dearly. When a woman is physically attracted, she won't announce it. She won't write it on her forehead, but her behavior leaks it out in ways sharper than words, and the clearest one is this: she stays longer than needed. The room is empty. The meeting is done. Everyone else has gone back to their lives. Yet she lingers. She makes up reasons, double-checking a file, rearranging papers, fiddling with her phone, but you must understand, these are not coincidences. This is her subconscious fighting against time itself, stretching seconds into minutes just to remain within your presence. The old Stoic would say, control yourself before you seek to control others, and the modern Stoic echoes the same, reminding you not to chase shadows, but to recognize the signs of reality. Don't dismiss her lingering as politeness. Don't call it chance. It is attraction in disguise. Marcus Aurelius wrote, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, and you must apply that here. Recognize her signs, but do not become desperate for them. That is Stoicism. That is mastery. A woman's lingering presence is not random. It's her body and mind rebelling against leaving, betraying her desire to remain close. Every small hesitation, every extra glance, every delayed step is her subconscious whispering, I want more of this moment. You must not be blind to it. You must not be passive. See it, register it, and let it affirm your value without letting it inflate your ego. That's the difference between a man who wins and a man who loses. In modern life, with distractions everywhere, phones buzzing, deadlines pressing, attention scattered, when someone chooses to remain in your orbit, that choice is louder than words. Don't ignore it. Don't rationalize it away. That is her attraction manifesting in real time. But here is the discipline of Stoicism. Do not jump, do not rush, do not mistake her lingering for a confession. Instead, let it strengthen your awareness, your calm, your power. Seneca, the old Stoic, taught, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. This is your opportunity, not to leap, not to fumble, but to sharpen your perception and control your frame. 90% of men miss this because they are too distracted, too insecure, too blind to the quiet signals. Don't be among them. Be the 10%. Pay attention. Stand firm. Let her attraction come to you, and you'll find yourself living as a modern Stoic who masters both himself and his circumstances. Remember, brother, attraction is rarely spoken, it is shown. It hides in the pauses, the excuses, the seconds stretched longer than necessary. That is her giving herself away. That is her body rebelling against leaving your presence. And you must see it for what it is, not politeness, not coincidence, but desire. Don't mistake it. Don't downplay it. Don't ignore it. Recognize it, respect it, and use it as a compass. In this, you must live as the old Stoic lived, with discipline, perception, and clarity. And you must act as the modern Stoic acts, with confidence, calm, and strength. Because the truth is simple. If she lingers, if she stays longer than needed, she is telling you something without saying a word. Don't miss it. Don't fail. Victory in life comes from mastering what others overlook, and this, brother, is the sign most men never see. If you found this valuable, like this video, share it with someone who needs these insights, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful psychology tips. Comment to remember, I noticed the signs of attraction clearly. Sign 4. She teases, challenges you. Brother, lean in close, because this one is where most men stumble. When a woman is drawn to you, really drawn, physically, emotionally, she's not going to spell it out. She's not going to hand you a note that says, I like you. No, she's going to tease you. She's going to challenge you. And if you're not awake to it, you'll dismiss it as harmless fun. Don't. This is one of the sharpest, most revealing psychology tips you'll ever hear. When she playfully twists your words, exaggerates your stories, or raises an eyebrow at your opinion, She isn't just messing around, she's testing. That is attraction disguised as banter, and you must catch it. She's measuring your composure, checking if you can stand firm without losing your cool. Every sly jab is her way of saying, show me you're confident. Show me you're steady. Show me you can handle me. Don't confuse this with cruelty. It's not meant to belittle you. It's love advice wrapped in playfulness, a secret handshake only the attentive will notice. She's watching to see if you laugh it off, if you volley back with charm, or if you crumble under the smallest push. That's the game. And if you fail to see it, you miss the spark entirely. Think of it this way. Women who are indifferent don't bother. They don't tease, they don't poke, they don't invest that much energy. But when she leans into your words, when she challenges your thoughts, when she laughs not just at your jokes, but at the way you deliver them, that's interest. Be smart enough to spot the contrast. Indifference is silence. Attraction is playful resistance. Don't mistake one for the other. Here's another layer most men miss. When she teases you, she's not trying to push you away, she's trying to pull you closer. That subtle tension between her words and your reaction is where chemistry is born. It's magnetic. It's why you find yourself replaying her comments later, wondering why she said it like that, why she smiled that way, why her eyes sparkled when she challenged you. That isn't random. That's desire weaving itself into the conversation. That is attraction in motion. Now, here's the kicker, and you must hear this. Every playful challenge is her subconscious saying, I notice you, I see you, and you matter enough to engage with. Don't ignore that. Be the man who reads between the lines. Be the man who answers her tests with confidence, humor, and steadiness. That's the difference between being forgettable and unforgettable. Too many men miss this 90% of the time, and that's why they walk away scratching their heads, wondering why she never confessed her feelings. She did, just not with words. Her teasing is the confession. Her challenge is the confession. Don't wait for neon signs. Attraction lives in subtleties. So, brother, next time she playfully argues, next time she challenges your take on something trivial, next time she smirks as if daring you to step up, don't get defensive, don't retreat, and don't dismiss it. Engage her. Match her energy. This is where dating tips become battlefield strategies. If you respond with charm, if you hold your ground with strength, if you laugh in the face of her little tests, you pass. Fail to see it, and you'll miss the doorway to her heart. Attraction is rarely loud. It's a quiet, steady pull hidden in micro moments. And the man who sees it wins. Psychology tips, love advice, dating tips, they all boil down to this. Don't miss the signs when she teases and challenges you, because that's her way of saying, without words, I want you. Sign 5. She remembers tiny details about you. Brother, listen carefully. This one slips past 90% of men. It's not loud. It doesn't shout. Attraction rarely waves a neon sign. Instead, it whispers soft, subtle, almost invisible. And one of the clearest whispers of love psychology is this. She remembers the smallest, most microscopic details about you. That's right. Not the obvious compliments like, nice shirt, or you look good today. No, she notices what others miss. She catches the quirks you don't even realize you're showing. Think about it. The exact way you stir your coffee. The fact that you take only half a spoon of sugar, not a full one. That dry joke you tossed out last week that everyone ignored, but she chuckled quietly because it stuck with her. That random story you shared on a walk, the one you barely remember telling. She's replaying it like a song on repeat. Don't underestimate this. Every tiny observation she stores is a piece of evidence. She treasures it, holds it close, and later, she'll drop it in conversation like a magician revealing a hidden card. Not to boast, not to get credit, but to let you know she's watching, she's tuned in, and she's drawn toward you. That is attraction at work. The magic of subtlety. She doesn't announce it with trumpets. She doesn't stop the world to say, I remember that about you. No, her moves are stealthy. Picture this. You mentioned, almost as a throwaway, your favorite song from decades ago, a track most people have forgotten. A week later, she hums it or even slips it into the playlist when you're around. You fiddle with a certain pen whenever you're thinking. Suddenly, one day, That pen shows up on your desk, and she smiles when you notice. Coincidence? Brother, don't fool yourself. These are not accidents. These are signals. This is the psychology of attraction in motion. Why details matter. When a woman is physically attracted, she builds a quiet connection. She wants to carve space for you in her thoughts. She anchors you into her day with these memories. It's not grand gestures, not fireworks. It's far more powerful. Attention to detail speaks louder than words. It's her way of saying, you matter. I see you. I notice what others don't. That is the beginning of a bond. And here's the kicker. She doesn't even need to say it out loud. You just feel it, like a current running underneath the surface, pulling you closer without either of you naming it. The bigger picture: attract women with awareness. Most men miss it. They're looking for loud signals, big compliments, bold moves. Don't be that guy. Be sharper. Notice the subtlety. That's how you truly understand love psychology and get closer to your relationship goals. When you start seeing this pattern, you'll see it everywhere. The way she anticipates your coffee order before you even speak. The way she remembers you prefer quiet restaurants over loud bars. The way she texts you at the exact moment she knows you usually take a break. These aren't random. These are calculated, deliberate threads she's weaving between your world and hers. That is attraction, elegant, quiet, undeniable. Reflect, brother. Ask yourself, has a woman ever remembered something so small, so insignificant, that it left you stunned? Maybe you wondered how she even noticed. Maybe your heart skipped, even if just for a second. That's no accident. That's her secret language. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you feel it, you can't ignore it. That's how women attract men without saying a word. That's the invisible hand of love psychology guiding you toward deeper connection. So, pay attention. Don't dismiss the tiny details. Don't overlook the quiet signs. Be aware. Be intentional. Be ready. Because once you recognize this secret language, you'll never miss it again. And brother, that awareness, that shift, may be the key to unlocking your true relationship goals. Sign 6. The stolen glances, her eyes never lie. Brother, understand this with absolute clarity. When a woman is physically attracted to you, she may never confess it in words, but her eyes will always betray her, and if you fail to see it, you are walking blind in the game of life. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts, and nothing reveals the color of her thoughts faster than the way her eyes seek you out." In a crowded meeting, at a noisy party, or in the simplest daily routine, her glance cuts through the noise like a spotlight, fleeting, cautious, but filled with silent intensity. That glance is not random. It's not coincidence. It's attraction disguised as curiosity, desire wrapped in silence, longing dressed in nonchalance. Don't mistake it for chance. Don't dismiss it as nothing. That is her instinct breaking through her self-control, and it is a signal 90% of men miss. Remember what Seneca, the old Stoic, taught. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. If you remain blind to this signal, you lose the opportunity every time. A modern Stoic doesn't wait for words. He reads reality. He deciphers silence. He sees the invisible. She might look away quickly, pretend to scroll her phone, or shuffle papers on her desk, but that is her shield, not her truth. Don't let her disguise fool you. That flicker of attention is her mind and heart exposing themselves in spite of her will. Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Apply this same wisdom to your eyes. Watch more than you talk. Notice more than you assume. Because in modern life, filled with distractions, real connection is often silent. That is where Stoicism becomes power. An old Stoic mastered himself by ignoring temptation. A modern Stoic masters life by noticing truth without being shaken by it. Think about your daily reality. In the office, during a team meeting, she may not hear a word of what's being said because her attention keeps drifting toward you. At the coffee shop, while you're paying no mind, her eyes lock onto you a second longer than politeness requires. At a family gathering, while laughter fills the air, she's tracking your movements like a hawk disguised as a dove. Don't misinterpret it. Don't downplay it. That is attraction. That is gravity. That is her mind memorizing you in pieces, your laugh, your posture, the way your eyes shift when you think. Attraction is rarely loud. It's rarely shouted. It is almost always whispered, and her eyes whisper the truth. Now listen. In the battlefield of modern relationships, the weak man dismisses these glances. The average man questions them endlessly. But the strong man, the man with stoicism in his veins, recognizes them, respects them, and decides what to do. Let's be very clear. You must not chase every glance. You must not lose yourself in fantasy. You must not become intoxicated by her eyes. That is weakness. That is the path of fools. Instead, let her glances remind you of your value. Let them confirm what you already know, that you are magnetic when you live with purpose, strength, and clarity. Remember what Ralph Waldo Emerson declared: the only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. Decide to be the man who doesn't need her validation but sees it when it appears. Decide to be the man who stays calm, composed, and centered, even when desire flickers across the room. Victory belongs to the man who observes, not the man who doubts. Don't ignore the truth. Don't get distracted by the game. Don't let insecurity blind you. Attraction is there, and her eyes prove it. Let's master the art of perception. Let's train ourselves to see what others miss. Let's carry ourselves as men of presence, not men of guessing. That is how you embody stoicism in modern life. That is how you move with power. That is how you master both yourself and the silent language of women. Her words may never confess it. Her actions may hide it. But her eyes never lie. Recognize it, own it, and rise above it. Because the man who sees the unseen, brother, is the man who wins. And if you know exactly what I'm talking about, drop this in the comments right now. Her eyes can't hide the truth. Hit that like button, subscribe for more psychology insights, and remember, once you see the signs, you can't unsee them. Sign 7. Subtle jealousy, when her eyes speak what she cannot. Brother, let me lay it out for you plain and sharp. Subtle jealousy is the kind of signal most men miss, and that's exactly why it's so powerful. Don't think attraction always announces itself with grand gestures or obvious flirtation. No, sometimes it slips out through the cracks, through the tiny details that psychology tips and love advice keep screaming about. Yet 90% of men still walk right past. Subtle jealousy doesn't arrive with fireworks. It sneaks in quietly, disguised as indifference. She'll act composed, her face neutral, her hands busy with her phone, her laptop, or some meaningless task. But beneath that calm exterior, her emotions are boiling. Imagine you're joking with another woman at work or enjoying light conversation in a social setting. You think nothing of it, but she does. Her brows tighten for just a second. Her smile stiffens, almost invisible, but it's there. Her eyes? They're locked on you, following every gesture, every laugh, every word. That's not random attention. That's her jealousy whispering, "Pay attention to me." Don't ignore it. That is her attraction speaking without words, a confession hidden in plain sight. Here's the clever trick her mind plays later. She'll casually bring it up, but never directly. Maybe she'll ask, "So, who is that you were talking to?" Or she'll make a passing comment about how friendly you seemed. The words are light, harmless on the surface, but the psychology behind them is not. Her subconscious is doing the talking, trying to stake her claim without exposing too much. This is where dating tips often go wrong. Men think she's just being nosy. Wrong. She cares, she notices, and she's subtly fighting for your attention. When her fingers tap nervously on her phone, when her tone shifts just a hair tighter, when her body leans closer toward you as if magnetized, that's not random habit. That's attraction, desire, possessiveness, raw emotions that her conscious mind is trying and failing to cover. Don't fall for the illusion that real jealousy is loud. No, that's the easy kind to spot. Subtle jealousy is the truth, the unfiltered reaction, the sign she can't control even if she wants to. If you're laughing with another woman and she suddenly goes silent, if her hand freezes mid-motion, if her eyes refuse to leave your face, that is the subconscious staking its claim. Outside of work, it's the same game. At a party, you're talking to someone else and she's nearby. She won't throw a scene, but you'll notice it, the faint frown, the jaw tightening, her energy shifting like static electricity in the air. She might lean a little closer, just enough to mark invisible territory, silently warning that your attention isn't free for the taking. That is not coincidence, it's instinct. And psychology tips prove over and over again that what we suppress in words comes roaring out in body language. So listen, brother, don't dismiss it. Be smart. Be observant. This is love advice most men desperately need. The subtle jealousy she shows is not weakness, it's truth. It's the most honest sign of attraction because it comes from the subconscious, not the performance of flirting. Anyone can fake a compliment, anyone can stage a smile, but no one can fake that tiny flicker in the eyes when someone else steals your attention. That's real. That's genuine. That's attraction at its purest. Dating tips remind us to read between the lines, but with women, you must also read between the gestures, the pauses, the silences. Don't miss the subtle cues, because when a woman is truly drawn to you, her body and mind betray her long before her lips ever will. Pay attention. That is the key most men ignore, but if you catch it, you'll finally understand the language her eyes are speaking when her mouth remains silent. Sign 8. Her body cannot lie, the unspoken confession. Men, listen carefully. When a woman is physically attracted, she won't announce it on a loudspeaker. She won't draft a memo. And she certainly won't sit you down and say, by the way, I can't stop thinking about you. No. Instead, her body becomes the tattletale she never meant it to be. It's instinctive, involuntary, and brutally honest. You might hear her words say one thing, but her body? It's shouting the truth at full volume. Leaning in, the silent pull. Watch closely. She doesn't need to collapse into your arms to reveal interest. Just notice how she leans in when you talk. Not exaggerated, not obvious, just a fraction closer than necessary. Enough to make your chest tighten without warning. That is her body whispering what her mouth refuses to say. Her shoulders align toward you, her torso angles your way, and her feet, yes, even her feet, betray her secrets. They pivot toward you unconsciously. It's as if gravity itself is pulling her in your direction. Don't ignore it. Don't downplay it. This is love psychology in motion. Hands that confess without words. Her hands tell on her. She brushes her hair behind her ear, fiddles with a pen, tugs at her sleeve. To an outsider, meaningless. To you, priceless. Those tiny unconscious dances are her inner storm spilling out. Every flick, every adjustment is fascination disguised as fidgeting. When you're learning how to attract women, you must understand this. Her mind might be busy building walls, but her hands are busy breaking them down. The power of micro-expressions. The face is a battlefield of truth and pretense. And guess what? Truth always leaks through. She glances your way when she thinks you're not looking. Her smile lingers a beat longer than politeness demands. Her lips part, ever so slightly, when you approach. These aren't mistakes. They're signals. Clear, unfiltered signals. Don't be the man who misses them. 90% of men do. Be the 10% who notice. The everyday scenarios that expose her. Picture this. She's at the office kitchen, pretending to refill her coffee. You walk in. Her head turns barely. Her torso leans subtly. Her feet shift automatically. Her words say hi with casual ease, but her body broadcasts a storm. Or in meetings, you cross your legs and seconds later, hers follow. You rest your chin in your hand and suddenly, hers is there too. You gesture with your pen and her hand echoes yours. This is not coincidence. This is mirroring, one of the clearest giveaways in love psychology. The energy that fills the air. It's not just the movements. It's the atmosphere. When she's near, the air feels charged. The space between you shrinks. Her laughter? Yes, it's polite. But beneath it runs a current of intent. Alive. Electric. Magnetic. Her energy around you is different, a vibration only you can feel. Don't dismiss it. That is the kind of chemistry people chase their whole lives. That is the seed of true relationship goals. The truth you cannot deny. Every sway of her hips, every tilt of her head, every micro glance that lasts a heartbeat too long. These are not random. These are ancient signals, older than spoken language, older than written history. Imagine she's walking past your desk, phone in hand, pretending to check her emails. But her shoulders angle toward you. Her feet track your path. Her eyes sneak in those stolen seconds of contact. She tucks her hair back, fingers brushing her neck, and suddenly, the air between you feels different. Heavier, thicker, intoxicating. That is not imagination. That is not coincidence. That is her body confessing what her mouth will not. Men, don't be blind. Don't brush it off. A woman's body cannot lie. It will reveal her attraction before she dares to say it. When you recognize these signals, you're no longer stumbling in the dark, you're fluent in the unspoken language of desire. And once you learn that language, everything changes. Because attraction doesn't begin with words. It begins with whispers of the body. And once you can hear those whispers, you've stepped into a world where you finally understand how to attract women, master love psychology, and build the kind of magnetic connection that turns into real relationship goals. You see, brother, women may never actually say out loud that they're physically attracted, but the body never lies. The change in her smile, the way her eyes hold on just a little too long, that accidental touch, those are the truths most men overlook. And once you learn to read them, confusion disappears. My advice, don't just listen to words, watch the actions. Pay attention to the silent language of the body, and you'll understand women 10 times better. Trust me, that alone can completely change the way you see every relationship. Now it's your turn. Which of these signs have you noticed before? Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your story. And if this video gave you real value, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next one. I'll see you in the next video, where I'll share more raw psychology truths most men never hear about.